All right, guys, welcome back to the Rick Shiels Golf Show podcast, episode 273. I'm your host, Rick Shiels. I'm here with co-host Guy. It's been another action-packed week of golf. I don't even know quite where to start.
Okay.
Because
you choose.
Well, there's been BMW Championship at Wentworth. There's been the Liv Team Championship. Lydia Ko goes and wins again, continuing an incredible year. And I pretty much missed every single bit of it because I was moseying around New York for a whole week.
This is where you apparently, that the rumours were in the diary that you were going away for this very important trip over to New York City, America, to see your friends and mine, YouTube. However, this trip, as beneficial, as insightful as apparently it was, and you come back with some golden nuggets of how we are going to even dominate YouTube, hopefully even more, you also had a rather extended break and some romantic walks around Central Park, hand in hand with yourself.
I did. I had a holiday on my own.
Were you a good date? Are you a good person to go on holiday with?
I am potentially only exclusively going to holiday on my own from now on. It's life-changing.
Yeah.
Doing what you want, when you want, how you want.
Did a lot get done, or did just choosing that time to scroll?
No, I don't. No social media on my phone.
Right.
Zero. I only now exclusively have it on my laptop, and just loved life. So first off, I went over to YouTube. I went over to Brooklyn. It's always bizarre when you because in New York, it's very like Brooklyn, Manhattan, the Bronx, etc. Like, it's very territorial. That you're not in New York City if you're in Brooklyn, for argument's sake. Like, you're in New York City when you're in Manhattan and such. And it seems kind of like, I thought it was just one big place, but it's not. No. So I started off in Brooklyn at the YouTube Creator Summit. So it's 140 YouTubers from all different walks of life. I was the only golf creator there, only golf creator invited, I think. And it's nice to be invited to something this year. And it was fantastic. Really, really insightful. Learned loads, got to mix with loads of different YouTubers. MKBHD was there, Mark Rober, Carl from Mr. Beast, Colin Samir.
I was hoping, by the way, that you would be able to press the YouTube magic button, which would automatically get the channel to 3 million subscribers. It doesn't appear the magic button got pressed.
No. And I spoke about magic buttons with them.
Yeah.
Because there's obviously, we talked about in a few episodes
ago. Oh, did they mention the magic buttons?
The magic buttons. Apparently, and I still don't think it's right, you can just pay for magic subscribers.
Yeah. Which is what we said.
Which just Siri doesn't understand. So yeah, that was a bit of a weird kind of like, I don't quite understand it still, how you can just pay for subscribers. Because it just doesn't make sense to me.
Google wants your money.
Google does want money, but it doesn't mean that your channel's going to do well, you're going to get views, etc., as that's been the case for your friend of mine on the old EU tour.
But just again, going off on a tangent on YouTube for a second, though, for everyone listening and watching, subscribers are very important, obviously, in a lot of ways, and it's a nice metric, but ultimately it's views that pay a creator, isn't it? So you could have 10 million subscribers, but if you're not getting many views, you're not making money, which if it's a business is the whole point of it.
Exactly. So, no, it was really, really insightful. Loads of exciting things come up with YouTube. It was fascinating about how many people in YouTube watch the videos and are fans of the channel, and also how many creators also that were there that were fans of the channel as well, which is great. And then a couple of days in New York.
Was there a distinct smell of marijuana?
Ridiculous.
Because when I last went to New York with my wife, and she was actually pregnant at the time, I'd been before once to New York and loved it. I went with my friends in 2015 into 2016, that new year, and we did all the usual stuff, all the sightseeing stuff. It was really good for a group of lads to go and not just focus on getting drunk. We did a bit of that, but other stuff as well. Went with my wife. I was like, you're going to love it, you're going to love it. And she did love it, but every corner you went stunk of weed.
Yeah, it stunk. I went on a couple of runs and I came back high.
Yeah. I wondered why there was that picture of you eating cookies after a run.
It was great. And this is very YouTube. So we had 2 days summit, loads of workshops, loads of exciting things to talk about. And on the final hour, on the rooftop of this really, really nice hotel in Brooklyn,
had a massive spliff. Sorry.
They had puppies.
Puppies?
So literally a cage full of puppies.
Wow.
that you could pick up and pet and whatever.
That's very.
But a lot of the kind of more Instagrammer type YouTubers were taking the opportunity to turn it into more of a photo shoot.
Yeah.
So I didn't unfortunately get any chance with any of the puppies.
I could imagine a YouTube collective like that in New York very cool. It would be very like cool to be vegan, stuff like that, and be really like you wouldn't have a drinking water out of a plastic bottle. It's all out of metal cans and stuff.
I made the mistake on the first morning. I went down for breakfast and there's like bagels on and this, that, and the other. I was like, I'm gasping for a drink. I'm really thirsty. And in this ice bucket, okay, there was what looked to me like orange juice and apple juice in bottles, okay? Picked up an orange juice, got a bagel, opened the orange container, okay, without even looking, didn't even think.
No.
And I just went, gu, 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 and then I went, oh my God. It was literally like ginger and blah-de-blah, and I was like, what the hell is this? I literally had to spit it out. I got some coffee and I literally drank this boiling hot coffee just to get the taste away. It was very, very different. It was really exciting. I got to meet loads of different creators. What's mad about this creator summit is, again, there was 140 creators there, and you look around the room, you're like, with all due respect, I don't know a lot of people in this room, and they were probably thinking the same about me. But every single one of them in their own niche had millions of subscribers.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's
like from fashion to makeup to news reporting to podcasts to interviews to live streaming. It was fantastic to be able to kind of spend time with these creators. And to be honest, the most beneficial part of the summit was getting time to spend with creators outside of the actual summit itself. So in the evenings, having dinner, we went roller skating one night, which was pretty cool. I remembered that I actually can roller skate pretty nice, actually.
Nice.
And getting to spend time with creators and actually talk about business, because in the world of YouTube, you don't often get to talk to other creators about business. And because a lot of channels were of similar sizes, it was like, well, how many editors do you have? How many videographers do you have? How do you structure your business? That was really, really insightful. I made some great connections that way as well. And then had a few days, I was planning on filming in New York. The collaborations I had lined up didn't quite work out. So hopped on the ferry over to Manhattan, booked a hotel, which was very, very nice in the middle of Manhattan. And for 3 days, basically cycled around the city, didn't go in one single automobile for like 4 days.
Automobile? You got so American.
All I did was ride around in these like city bikes, some electric, some non-electric. Went to Central Park, chilled out in the park, went and watched a show on Broadway.
What did you watch?
On my own, Hamilton.
Nice. Was it good?
I love Hamilton anyway. I've probably watched it. I've watched it live already in Manchester. I've watched it about 3 times on Disney, and then in person in New York was amazing. But completely on my own, felt very
Does your
bizarre.
wife know this was a holiday, or does she think you were there for the whole week of work?
It wasn't. Listen, it was a weekend. It was my own time.
Yeah, but does she know that, or does she think you were working that weekend? Does she know you're watching Hamilton?
She doesn't listen to the podcast, so I can say what I
She'll
want.
never know.
No, she knew. I apologise about going watching Hamilton. She was very
jealous
about that. I went and yesterday morning did a run around Central Park.
Nice.
Honestly, when you went to Central Park, did you go running around Central Park? It genuinely feels like a marathon. There's so many people running, cycling, and because around Central Park, this kind of pathway all the way around, it's basically one way, so everyone's running the same direction.
That's quite cool,
and it just feels like you're at an organised run.
Yeah,
it's amazing. So I really, really enjoyed that. I had this amazing bagel, which was outrageous. And then what else I do? Went to a show. While I was over there, my friend said, I wonder if there's any sport events on. So I'll have a look. And actually, Inter Miami, Messi's team, was playing against New York City Football Club.
Nice.
Okay. I was like, I've got to go and watch that. I'd love to watch Messi live. Never watched him live. I'd love to see him live. But this is weird. New York City Football Club currently play all their home games at the Yankees Stadium.
Right.
Which is the baseball stadium. So they've turned the baseball pitch into a football pitch.
Wow.
But it kind of looks really weird. Like they had to turf the sanded area around and then Tuesday, so tomorrow, there's a baseball match.
Wow, that's quite a quick
So they've kind of got
turnaround.
to take the turf up and put it back down and all sorts. It's only temporary because New York City Football Club having a stadium built. Great match. Loved watching that. 1-1 in the end.
Did you see Messi then?
Messi was playing
Wow.
the whole match.
Did he score?
He didn't score. And
Overrated, isn't he?
you know what? I respect him so much because Suarez plays for him as well.
Yeah.
And you can kind of, all due respect to Suarez, you can kind of tell he's at the tail end of his career. Messi still has all these touches of genius. And because he doesn't run a great deal, he knows his position. He kind of just does a bit of magic, pots around, doesn't defend, lets players run past him because he's like, well, it's not my job to tackle. And then just kind of floats around. And this was a home game for New York City Football Club in the Yankee Stadium. No word of a lie, I would say 90% of the fans that were there had pink Inter Miami shirts on with Messi number 10 on the back.
It's mad how you can go into like Sports Direct over here and that is a shirt that you can now buy, which kind of shows, doesn't it, the impact.
Everywhere. And this was a home game.
Yeah.
But I know football or soccer, football in America, when you go to a game, I don't think they have like a home and away sections.
Right.
Kind of everyone's just mixed. But do you know what I realised it was a bit more like? I would say going to like an MLS game, from what I saw, was almost like going to a live tournament.
Okay.
Where going to Old Trafford and watching United match or Anfield feels more like the establishment. Feels like going watching the Open.
There's unwritten rules.
Yeah. Like going to Old Trafford and going to the Open, you kind of know what to expect. It's a certain type of clientele, and someone on the pitch before the match not kind of chanting and getting the come on, you Man United football fans, let's cheer for the mighty Reds. Like, you just don't get that, do you?
No.
Over there, it's so much more like what I'd class Live as a tournament. There's music. It's a very family-friendly vibe. Yeah. Like mums, dads, kids, home and away fans, just kind of all mixed together. There's no real trouble. It just
no casuals, no fights.
I didn't see any.
Were you an Inter Miami fan then, or were you a New York City fan?
I went as an Inter Miami fan.
Okay.
I left as an Inter Miami fan. And I'll tell you. And do you know why the reason was? I actually forgot that New York City Football Club is owned by Manchester City Football Club.
Correct, yeah.
And it is literally like being at a Man City game.
Well, who owns Inter Miami?
David Beckham.
Correct. So it's
he was there.
Oh, he wasn't.
I didn't see him, but he was there. I saw him on his Instagram later.
What would you rather have happened? Lionel Messi come up to you and say, watch the videos, or David Beckham say that to you?
I would rather have David Beckham walk past me.
Yeah.
Not even give me eye contact.
Yeah.
Than Lionel Messi saying that he's a huge fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Fair dues.
Yeah, so I was a bit... I really... One, I didn't expect him to be there, maybe. I don't know why. And two, I thought, if he's there, I'm going to bump into him. Like, it's just my luck, and I didn't. But anyway, that was really, really fun. Really enjoyed that. Yeah, like I said, I think I was going to go and expect to come back as a New York City Football Club fan, but I just couldn't look past the fact it's just like Man City. But
yeah, well, that's why, if you remember Frank Lampard, he went to City, didn't he? I think, or the other way around, then went to New York City. It's all owned by the City Group. It's
all owned by City. And also, New York City Football Club's also owned by 20% of the Yankees.
Right.
Like New York Yankees. So that's why it's played at the Yankee Stadium.
Makes sense.
Trying to think what else I did. Just loads of really fun bit. Did a bit of shopping, tiny bit of sightseeing, mostly rid around the streets on electric city bikes.
Sounds great, but one thing you have missed while you've not been in the office for this week, which has been a game changer, we have come up with a new office putting comp.
Okay.
And it's absolutely addictive. And this could be used by anybody listening who works in an office or even at home. Very simple. It's basically a putting comp in the office. So we go from A to B. We've made different pars, and I got a par 5.
Wow.
Which starts actually at your desk, which you've not been here for, and ends up in the little TV bit.
Yeah.
And the hole isn't a hole. It's a piece of kitchen towel. But quite big. Like a square of kitchen towel. Now on paper, that sounds easy.
On paper.
On paper. Pardon the pun. It's so hard. Certainly at the start, because the closer you get to it, if you had a 2-inch putt to get it inside the paper towel, it's so easy to whack it past. So we have had, and the whole office has been involved, by the way, massive, huge tournaments, and it's changed the game.
Wow.
So you'll have to have, before you go today, you'll have to take part in one because it's addictive. It's absolutely addictive.
Is this the new darts?
It's the new darts, and we've also, every Thursday, we're having a tournament, and whoever performs worse has to put this stupid little ornament on their desk, and Lynette is currently the loser. Oh. So Lynette's got a big ornament on her desk.
Big ornament.
Yeah. Before we get into the week of golf, though, Rick, there's lots to go over. We asked last week for more emails, because we love hearing people's correspondence. So if you've got an email you'd like to send to us, it's podcast@rickshiels.com. It's that easy. And this week's Dear Rick is an absolute belter. So much so, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a clip. That we clip up for YouTube. So, you ready, Rick?
Go for it.
Hey guys.
Hi.
I'm writing from South Africa, where a club in my area recently banned the consumption of alcohol on the golf course. And so the course marshal will kick you off the grounds if you're found with alcohol beverages on the golf course. Granted, they are going for a classier vibe, and for the context, this comes after allegedly £5,000 worth of damage was caused when they hosted a golf day and some of the players got way too drunk and messed up the golf course. What are your thoughts on this? Without condoning the behaviour of the people that caused this damage, it seems like a short-sighted decision by the course. It's a popular golf course for golf days where I'm sure they make a lot of money, but who will book a golf day when you can't even drink on the golf course? Especially when each hole is usually sponsored with free drinks and shots, etc. at these events. I'm also part of a group of friends that play at different golf courses once a month. We don't take ourselves too seriously and often have a few casual drinks on the golf course, nothing too raucous. Some of our players are already saying they wouldn't want to play at this golf course again because you can't have a few drinks when you play. Interested to hear your opinion on this, Rick. Love the podcast. Keep the content coming. So, Rick, should alcohol be banned on the golf course?
I don't think alcohol should be banned on the golf course. I think it's, in this day and age, I would say alcohol consumption and playing golf has it's really become popular, hasn't it? Like growing up, I don't remember that many people drinking and playing golf.
No. Is it an American thing, would you say?
I think it's very much an American thing and also a buggy thing. Because, again, growing up, you know, it's like when we were growing up kind of playing here in the UK, a lot of people carry the golf clubs or use electric trolleys or trolleys. And often the drinking would only really commence at, you know, after the 18 holes. Because even back in the day, halfway houses weren't as good or as popular as they are now.
Again, I think it's an American thing.
When now every single halfway house you go to, I mean, that one at Dunbarney Links the other day, it was a mini bar.
Yeah.
Like it had every drink you could possibly imagine, food, you know, unbelievable food choices. And I think with golf buggies now becoming such a stable part of golf over here in the UK as well, much more, it's easy now to put drinks in the buggy and have an ice cooler with drinks in the back. I have done it in the past and enjoyed it a lot. I've enjoyed drinking out on the golf course. At the moment, obviously, I'm still not drinking. I've kind of nearly gone 3 months now without drinking. So in my head at the moment, it'd be easy for me to say, "Oh no, ban it." It shouldn't exist. But I do think it's a lot of people's kind of relaxation, having a few drinks while they play. I think there's a few golf tournaments, and I've seen clips on social media, however, where it goes beyond that tipping point. And it becomes almost like an Ibiza on a golf course. And it's like, it's reckless and it's crazy and damage happens and buggies get damaged. And, you know, I think it can go overboard. And listen, I've been guilty of that in the past. Obviously, the video with Bob the Sports drinking Guinness all the way around for 9 holes. And after 9 holes, you start to make some choices that you probably wouldn't do sober.
Yeah, 7-9 rather than 8 iron.
Exactly. I think you can get to a 200-yard par 3 with a lob wedge. But yeah, I think I don't know how you can control it. I think golf courses have potentially got to lean into it. If one golf day a year makes $5,000 of damage, it's not ideal, I know, but you've probably made that much money and way more than that throughout the year. Yeah, I don't think it should be banned.
It's a weird one, isn't it? You said banning it is a strong term. And I suppose to the golf club's defence, if you find that people are coming a lot and drinking and then silly things, but they're not even repairing the pitch marks because they've had a few beers and they can't be bothered or don't even realise or don't think or whatever it might be, then you can kind of see it. But I suppose you'd like to think that grown-ups can be sensible and, what do you draw the line at saying don't drink in the clubhouse because people might get rowdy and have a fight or something? That's not the case, is it? So I don't know, but I think it is this cultural thing. It's like we've played golf, obviously, in other countries where it almost is you have to play in a buggy, really. And if you think about it, if you are American or you live in wherever you live in where buggies are more the thing and you want a couple of drinks on a weekend, it shouldn't be banned. But having said that, over here, it's not as much of a thing yet. people probably do get carried away, or maybe in South Africa people got carried away.
Yeah,
it's a tough one, isn't it?
It's definitely become more popular.
I mean, the other thing though as well is, I know it sounds silly, but like driving a buggy. Some golf courses, obviously, well, any golf course, if you're driving a buggy or cart, as the Americans say, and you are under the influence, I'm sure it's not illegal because it's not a road, but it could be dangerous.
So the one thing I always can't quite get my head around is so many people drive to the golf club, play, drink. How are they getting home?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want golf to get this bad image that it's a sport, but it's all, I don't know. I think it is kind of part of, it's one of the only sports. Like, what other sport can you do and drink?
No.
Darts and snooker.
Yeah.
Like, it's not many, is there, really?
I'm interested to hear what people say. Feel free to email us in with your opinions or let us know on social media. Do you think alcohol should be banned? I reckon there'll be some people who say yeah. I reckon there'll be a lot of people who say no. And there'll be some people, Rick, who do not care. Anyway, this week was the flagship event on the DP World Tour. It was the BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth. An amazing event with an even better field. You would say there's some absolute superstars in the field. And guessing you won't have seen much of it, Rick, you probably would have been on the plane or boarding. Yeah, well, certainly the last day, should I say.
How I watch a lot of my golf content is on Now TV. But then obviously when I was in America, Now TV wasn't working. And I've not got a VPN. Maybe I need a VPN.
Yeah, VPN normally works, but...
So I watched a few bits of highlights. I obviously know that there was some incredible golf. To have 4 rounds where 3 players end up 20 under par, including Rory McIlroy, Billy Horschel, and Tristan Lawrence.
Yes.
There could have been another 3 or 4 players at 20 under par, to be honest. Also, there could have quite easily been someone that got to 21 under par and a playoff didn't happen, but the 3 of them took it down a playoff.
They did, and I think we've said this a lot. I don't always watch a bucket load of golf. I know you kind of dip in and out as well, but this was an event I was really tuned into, partly because it's obviously the biggest event on the DP World Tour. The names that were up at the leaderboard were phenomenal, and it was coming down the wire, and there was a leaderboard that's stacked, and you look at the leaderboard and the array of names. I mean, within the top 20, you've got Tommy Fleetwood, obviously huge name, Padraig Harrington, Shane Lowry, Bob McIntyre. Eddie Pepperell had a great week. He's had the best season, but he had a great week and came tied 12th. Matt Wallace is back in the scene, tied 12th. Tom McKibben, who came in at 10th. Marcus Armitage. There's this real mixture of like absolute PGA Tour legends. You've got kind of major winners in obviously Harrington and Lowry, etc. But then you've got these guys like a Marcus Armitage, who, kind of solid DP World Tour players, and Tom McKibbins, who the prize money they've won alone is massive. And then towards the top end of the leaderboard, we had Aaron Rai, who is just going from strength to strength. He's an absolute beast at the moment. And unfortunately, I would like to see him finish a little bit higher, but we had Matteo Manacero, who has had an incredible career. I think he won it in 2013 at age of 21. And I still think him of being a kid, he's like 31, 32 now.
He's had some real issues with putting yips.
Yeah.
And he's come back with this kind of very unique way of holding his putter now, and his game has massively improved. But he had a disappointing final round of 1 over, didn't he?
Yeah, he fell away towards the end and still came tied 4th. And obviously, it's great to see him coming back he was an amazing prodigy, and he kind of fell off, and he was on the Challenge Tour for a number of years, and now he's back and seems to be doing really well again. And obviously, as you said, we'll come on to the winner in a minute in Billy Horschel. But another amazing story that I just wanted to kind of dig into a little bit for the sake of the podcast was Matthew Baldwin. So Matthew Baldwin is a kind of been on the DP World Tour for a long time now. And I remember him being an absolute kind of, again, a junior prodigy, a bit older than me, probably more at your age. Growing up, I think he was from Birkdale, around that kind of neck of the woods. And he's very good friends with Robbo, James Robinson, our friend. I think James was on his stag do not so long ago, actually.
Oh, was that? Yeah, that's right.
I think he was. But he had a really great week, and I mean, he had rounds. This Matthew Baldwin had 65, 66, 71, 69 to come tied 4th. And I mean, whatever you think of prize money in golf, it has got extortion. And you look at the winner, Billy Horschel won 1.3 million euros. But Matthew Baldwin won 340,000 euros. And you actually look at his career and how much that will mean to him moving forward. It's absolutely crazy. So before this, Matt won once on the DP World Tour last year, which is a smaller event, the SDC Championship. And he won 240,000 euros. This event, which came tied 4th, has won him 340,000 euros. And you look at actually his years on tour and the different kind of seasons he's had, some ups, some downs, and how much that actually will mean to him. So you look at like There was 2016, he won €67,000 on the DP World Tour. The following year, 14,000. The following year, 141. The following year, 17,000. 2020, which was obviously a tough year for everybody with COVID, etc. He won €40,000. Following year, 44,000. 2022, he won 90,000. Last year was a much better year. That win, he won nearly €600,000, and already for this year, he's on €600,000. So that fourth place has been massive for him. And I think it's just great when you look at a leaderboard like that, and you look at the different stories. If you've got a Manacero who's coming back from obviously being in a terrible position, you've got guys like Aaron Rai who seems to be on the charge and threatening to keep doing really, really well. And then you come on to your Rorys and your Billy Horschels, etc. Rory fought hard. He did very, very well. The playoff was phenomenal. They both birdied 18, and then Rory birdied it again, and Billy Horschel hold a really good putt for the eagle to win it. The only criticism you can give of Rory, really, was that when he played 18 in regulation, he hit
pull
this,
it left in the
water.
water.
He hit this iron that was kind of like short and left, and he was never going to get up and down with it, so he got a par. I think he did eagle 17, so you can't exactly say he blew it when you got an eagle par. Really should have gone eagle birdie to win it. What more can Rory do?
It doesn't seem to be going his way, does it? The rub of the green, regardless. I mean, he could have easily won the last two tournaments, the Irish Open and then this, albeit just one player just pipped him. It's like Rasmus Højgaard in the Irish Open had an unbelievable final round to pip him, when Rory didn't play that bad. And then you look at this round, what did Rory shoot in the final round? He still shot a good score, didn't he?
Yeah, so his final round was a 67, same as Billy Horschel, 67.
Like, you can't, what more can you do? And then he goes and birdies the two playoff holes. Billy went birdie eagle.
Yeah, so it was only with that the regulation 18th, he maybe could have hit a bit more of an aggressive shot towards the hole or more towards the right to try and win it. But I think we've said this before, and it's this kind of mystery with Rory of like, is it just that he is so good that he's always up there, then it highlights the fact that he's not won, if that makes sense? Because you look at other players, and like, no one is saying this week, why did Tommy Fleetwood not win? Are they? Because he played well, he came 12th, tied 12th, nice week, etc. It's kind of is what it is. But you look at Rory, because he's constantly up there and constantly performing, it kind of feels like he's not winning enough. But I just can't work it out in my own mind. Is it that he needs to have this more of a killer instinct, and should he have birdied that last hole in regulation play? Or is he just an amazing golfer who's so consistent, he's always up there?
I think the other thing as well now, when you look at dominant players over the years, Tiger and Scottie Scheffler, probably the two best examples over the last few years, because they are so dominant and they put the pressure on when they need to, other players end up crumbling away. And other players feel the heat of being on a leaderboard or being in the final group with Tiger or Scottie Scheffler. I suppose the more time Rory doesn't finish the job off, players are becoming less
potentially
scared.
Yeah,
like going into the final round with Rory, you're thinking, well, I can beat Rory.
Yeah,
players will have that mindset of going, well, I think I can beat him.
Do you think Billy Horschel would have been scared in that playoff? No.
Not even. I honestly don't think. He was actually quite sympathetic. Did you hear him in his post-round interview? He was actually kind of like, I'm glad I've won, but I also kind of feel sorry for Rory, because it's really funny, actually. I feel like the BMW Championship really, what's the right word? They seem to love Billy Horschel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot, even really early in the week, there's loads of coverage of Billy Horschel. I think because he's one of the flagship Americans that play in that event, and obviously won it. Was it 2021?
I think it's 22. I think
he's already won it, so he's a past champion. And I think whether because
21. Sorry, it's 21. You're right.
Because he is kind of this, like, obviously die-hard West Ham fan, which I always feel a little bit weird about that. But I think the BMW Wentworth kind of just lean into him as being their kind of star, really. What I mean by all that, at the start of the week, there was a really great clip of when Billy Horschel was on the range practicing, and Rory arrived after just losing out at the Irish Open, and Billy made a beeline for Rory and kind of gave him a handshake and like said, commiserations, man, you tried your best. And I genuinely think Billy was like gutted for Rory not to get the job done. The fact of then Sunday afternoon, they're going in a 3-man playoff, which turned into a 2-man playoff over another hole. It's like, he probably felt a bit, I don't know, like he was going to do the same to Rory that Højgaard did just a week earlier. But I don't think people are scared of playing Rory. I don't. And that doesn't mean he's not a great golfer. He's not. I'd be playing against Rory. Absolutely. He's an unbelievable golfer. I'm not saying like people in general aren't scared of Rory, but I think his competitors now are starting to see, well, he's beatable.
Yeah.
He's beatable a lot. And I'm going to go into this final round and, you know, I'm going to give it to him.
I think I was saying upstairs to one of the lads in the office before, I think it was to Leo, that they both essentially had very similar putts on 18 in the final hole of the playoff, and to the point where the actual referee came to measure them and see who had to putt first, and Rory putted first and obviously just missed, then Billy holed his. What's weird is if someone said to you now one of them's going to hole and one of them's not, you probably are putting your money on Billy, which obviously was the case, which is, again, if you think of a Tiger or a Scotty Scheffler, that's not the case. But what's funny, though, with Billy Horschel, you just said it then about the fact he supports West Ham. I feel like if you are an American player who is playing some events or, you know, relatively a member of the DP World Tour and playing quite a bit, I do feel like an easy way to win fans over with to support a football team. Because you're going to get, like, say for Billy Horschel supports West Ham, it's good enough that he's then going to get people who support West Ham go, I'm going to follow this guy a little bit. It's not offensive enough where people are going to go, like, I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm going to go, I don't follow him then because he supports West Ham. Kind of like it's like, oh, he's an American who likes football, that's quite cool. It's a nice little thing to have in your locker.
What's the team? There is a team that hate West Ham, isn't there?
Well, I'm guessing Spurs, Chelsea, all the London clubs, really.
Is there not a one specific team? Is it not Spurs?
I'm not sure. Millwall, maybe, as well.
I don't
this
know.
This isn't my area of expertise.
Because it's where geographically they are in London, you see. But yeah, he's not offending a great deal of people. It's quite... Is it a strategy?
I think that's what I'm saying.
Like, it does seem a bit bizarre that Billy Horschel supports West Ham United.
Let's just say Chase Koepka starts playing on the DP World Tour again and starts supporting Brighton and Hove Albion. It's not going to offend anyone. It's not going to offend anyone, is it?
I don't think that's going to do it. I think someone like Spurs would, but also like I feel like West Ham, because they have the saying like Irons. Everyone's shouting like Irons at him.
You know, it would be a good one, Newcastle. I think if you were an American and you decided to support Newcastle United in the Premier League, that would do you a lot of good.
I want to find out why he supports West Ham.
Well, while you're doing that, Rick, I will jump in to another email. In fact, no, I won't. I won't do that. I want your full attention for that. What I will discuss, and I can't remember if we discussed it in last week's episode, so I might need Ben and Matt to give me a nod or a shake of the head. Did we discuss the video at Pennington Flash last week? I don't think we did. No. So hopefully people listening to this podcast or watching this podcast will have seen it. If not, please go and watch it. I know we say this quite frequently, but truthfully, this was a really good video. Rick went to Pennington Golf Club, which is a municipal golf course at Pennington Flash, which isn't too far from our office. And it's about £7 per round. It's a 9-hole golf course. And on, I think it was Golf Now, it is literally one of the worst rated golf courses in our local area. It's got 2 out of 5 stars, and the comments are woeful. We decided to book a tee time. Literally, Rick paid for a tee time. We booked it online, and the very next day, or was it even the same day? Same day, we went and Rick played and we filmed at Pennington Golf Course. We were thinking of two things, really. First of all, how bad is it going to be? Because it's got such bad ratings. But secondly, you know, we are, and obviously Rick in particular, so fortunate to get to go to and play some incredible golf courses. You've literally played Augusta National, the old course at St Andrews, Royal County Down. I think you can't really get a better 3 golf courses than that, and obviously many, many, many others that you've played. Not everybody can ever obviously afford or have the luxury of going to these golf courses. Some people have to start somewhere, or even some people are members of for a lifetime, somewhere that's not as good, and that's okay. So let's see what it's like. And we went, and we were pleasantly surprised on the whole. Elaborate on your experience, Rick, for playing Pennington Flash.
Well, considering that we gave no heads up, there wasn't an advance warning. It's not like we rang up a week early, give them a chance to get it in you know, as good a condition as they could. We went we booked it an hour and a half later. We were on the first tee, and it was nice.
Yeah,
putting green at the start definitely left a lot to be desired. It was ropey, to say the least, and there was a lot of activity on the golf course, such as like what looked like a police dog.
Yeah.
Remember on the first tee, police dog in training.
It was a unit.
Massive dog running around everywhere, which was a bit worrying. But all in all, a lovely experience. The golf course was laid out nicely. Like the layout of the golf course was nice. We didn't play every single hole because we ended up getting stuck behind the group, which we couldn't get past. But, you know, it was a playable golf course. I think it would struggle in the winter.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the comments may be of those when it is worse condition. And we obviously played it in August, so it was in much, maybe September. It was in much better condition than it would be in like December, for argument's sake. But layout was good, condition was good, friendly staff, really cheap and cheerful, really good layout. Bunkers had a lot to desire.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they almost didn't have bunkers because they were awful condition, which is a shame because I reckon those greenkeepers could rate those bunkers every single day, and by lunchtime they'd just be full of dog footprints, people's footprints, because it's an open park.
Correct.
People just walk across the golf course. It's not sectioned off at all. Greens were okay. There was a couple of greens that really struggled with sunlight, so you couldn't really get, you know, good growth on those greens. But all in all, for £6.50, it was very pleasant. And I would, for the price, I would kind of give it more like a 3.5 to 4 stars out of 5.
I think you've nailed it there. I think the big thing is the price. Now, admittedly, this is for 9 holes. I'm sure not that I encourage people to then jump back on the first, but it wasn't the kind of place where they'd be bothered. I wouldn't imagine if you went and did an extra 9. However, it was £6.50. If it was 20 quid, I think people are within the right to say, I feel like I've been ripped off because it's not worth 20 quid. But for £6.50, I mean, you can play today for £5.99, so even cheaper at certain times. It does what it says in the tin. And if there's a few of you going and you're having a bit of a laugh, I said this to you when we were there, we didn't obviously put it in the video, but it's great to play amazing golf courses. But if you turn up with 3 mates or whatever and you just want to have a laugh and you've all got the same course to play, literally, you've all got the same playing field, you can have a great time. And you will have a few putts that should go in that bounce out, but then so will your mate on the next hole or whatever, so it equals itself out. And it just goes to show that, and again, we always say this, and I think sometimes people disagree, and I stand by it. Golf can be very expensive. Golf can be very elitist, but that's only if you want the shiny things. If you just want to have a set of golf clubs that you got handed down or you bought from Sports Direct or from a second-hand shop and go and play some course like that, you can play golf for next to nothing.
I'll tell you what, the other thing as well, if people are interested in looking for bargain, the amount of people left comments about their bargain golf course that they play at. Like, you know, this might say it's a tenner and it's unbelievable. It's much better than where you played. So, like, there are great value golf course out there, and, you know, fill your bag with a load of Stellas and off you go.
Well, that is somewhere. Again, not condoning drinking, but I wouldn't be surprised if people let the hair down a bit.
I found out why Billy Horschel supports West Ham.
He supports West Ham because he likes ham.
He was born in the West, and he doesn't like ham, he likes bacon. So he thought...
Are you joking? That's actually why it is. I'll find it.
The next thing to bacon was ham, and he thought, well, and he wanted everything to be united.
Yeah.
So he ended up supporting West Ham United.
Well, that's why I support Liverpool. I don't like eating liver. I like going to the swimming pool. So Liverpool.
I'm only joking. So
I was going to make a joke about Man United then, but I won't.
Despite living 1,000 miles away to West Ham, why does Billy Horschel support West Ham? This is an article from Golf Monthly. And apparently, when he first moved into college, he got a TV, but he didn't have cable. Okay. Right. And he went to almost like a Blockbuster type DVD rental shop and ended up hiring Green Street, the DVD.
Oh, Green Street, yeah.
Which was a film about the firm between the rivalry between Millwall and West Ham.
Yeah.
And then from watching that film, he really liked the actor Charlie Hunnam and ended up supporting West Ham, following him on NBC Sports.
So it's not to do with being from the West and eating ham?
No.
Oh, right. I believed you. Did you believe in Ben?
Not. No.
I thought you've been saying. I've actually heard that story before, yeah.
And then ever since that, he's now a huge diehard West Ham.
Have you ever watched Green Street?
I think I have, yeah.
You are the Green Street elite.
Yeah, I have watched it.
Right, well, fair news. Before we get on to any other golf, then I've got another email for you, Rick, and it's another one that I think we might use as a clip, and it's another one that I'd love to hear people's opinions, and I've got an opinion on this already. You'll know my opinion when you hear the email, but I want to hear your opinion and elaborate on this a little bit. So, hi, Rick.
Hi.
I am desperate to get your opinion on what could turn out to be my biggest achievement in life or potentially my biggest ever regret. I recently got my first hole-in-one after 25 years of playing this frustrating but amazing game. But there's something not quite right about it, and I need your opinion to put my mind at ease. So it's what we call an asterisk hole-in-one. For those who listen to the podcast weekly, you'll know what I'm talking about. I was with my playing partner on a hole prior to my hole-in-one. As we walked off the green, he found an old Slazenger golf ball and knocked it my way to see if I wanted to keep it. Being a golf snob, there was no way I was going to play that ball. It was going to get whacked into the bushes. But it wasn't safe to hit into the bushes near that green, so I put the ball in my pocket and walked to the next hole, the par 3 136-yard hole that I hate. I lost 5 balls in the water there on the previous round. It was my honour on the tee. As I walked up, I threw the Slazenger ball on the tee box that I'd just been given, and I hit it towards the green with my pitching wedge. It was actually a really good shot, and it finished middle of the green. And considering my last round on that hole was so bad, last time I played that hole, I lost 5 balls. I was very happy with this shot. But as it wasn't the official ball I was playing, I declared I'd hit my proper shot, and then subsequently hit the best shot of my life. It took 2 hops of the green and spun back into the hole for a hole-in-one in speech marks. My playing partner, although we went along with it, keeps every now and again saying it was really my 3rd shot. But as I stated earlier, I would have been more than happy to hit with a Slazenger ball finish for the first time if it was my first shot. Please, can you give my opinion on whether this was a genuine hole-in-one or not?
What's his name?
His name's D. He doesn't want his full name written out.
D, I'm sorry to say, that is not official hole-in-one.
Oh, no.
It's not though, is it?
No, it's not.
It's not. And there's just nothing. There's nothing. You can't just say, I'm just going to hit this Slazenger ball just because. Like what? You can't just do that.
Yeah, you can't. Hit it after.
Hit it after. Here's an interesting one. If you'd have maybe chipped that ball into the pond.
Yeah.
Purposely.
From the tee box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then when, it's obvious that's not his shot.
Yeah.
Then he went to hit his real shot.
Mm-hmm.
I could possibly give him that.
Yeah.
But to hit a full shot with the club you're going to hit into the green, that's the gauging distance, let's be honest, and then you go on and hit another shot, you've just had a practice shot.
Yeah. The rule of thumb, it's so easy for me. If you feel like when you tell someone there's no asterisk that you have to then say, that answers the question. So one for me, this isn't golf related, but I've twice ran a 5K in sub 20 minutes, but both times on a treadmill. So if somebody said to me, not that they ever would, but have you ever ran a sub 20 minute 5K? I have to say, on a treadmill doesn't really count, because I know it doesn't count because it's bouncier, you set the speed, there's no wind resistance. I know all those factors mean that it's still a decent achievement for me, but it wasn't real. It wasn't on the road. It wasn't a real 5K. In this instant, D, won't give his full name, he's asking us, he's giving us all his context. He knows it's not real, unfortunately. It's frustrating, but...
I've been lucky enough to have one. Tell a lie. I've had 4 hole-in-ones. Okay?
Yeah.
If someone asked me how many hole-in-ones have you had, I've had 1.
Yeah.
Because 1 is legit.
What's the other 3 then?
Like par 3 courses.
Right, yeah.
And I just don't count them.
No.
I just don't think you can. Because I think even the par 3 courses, it was where I used to play at Hart Common back in West Horton. I think the ones I had them on were 50, 60 yards.
Mm.
It's you can't have it on those holes. The one that I legit had was an open qualifying on the 17th hole in a regulation stroke play event.
Did you?
Open qualifying.
Was it filmed?
It wasn't filmed. Is that the only way to define the YouTube as one?
No, it's...
I was good it wasn't filmed, but that is a legitimate hole-in-one.
Yeah, no, fair dues. I've got one for you then. What about if you get to your second hole of the day, it's a par 3, and they're having some work done on the tee. So there's a mat on the tee where the yellow tees, whatever, would normally be, but hitting off a mat rather than grass. Would that count? No close to the hole, but it's a mat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Still struggle with it. But I couldn't argue against somebody, but for me personally, I feel like I'd struggle with it.
Yes, I could give that one. What about if it was aerated greens?
Yeah, I'd still have to give it.
That feels like the same as hitting off a mat.
Yeah, some people said it has been a comp, but I don't believe that, personally.
No.
I get it for prizes and stuff, potentially.
What about if you're only playing 9 holes?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're playing one hole. If the first hole's a par 3, like in Southport and Ainsdale, and you get a hole in one, say, right, that's it, I'm going to the bar. You've had a hole in one. There's that. For me, then asterisk is.
Isn't there some weird rule though about how many holes you play after?
I don't know. Maybe, but I don't. Weird.
No, if we're going to be the letter of the law.
No, but I don't. I think it's gut in it. It's gut. It's
I'm hole in one rule.
No, there can't be.
There's got to be because I'm sure. Isn't there a minimum length?
There's a minimum length. Yeah.
What's the minimum length?
I think it's 100 and something yards.
You think it is, or
I don't know for sure.
All right, I thought it was in like your, like say.
For my
vibe, hole in
vibe,
one, 99 yards.
No, I think 120.
But what about if it was 99 yards at the postage stamp?
Well, then, yeah, I suppose. It's a tough one, isn't it? I think if you go to a golf course and the tee is at a certain place and you hit it in one, the only thing about mats is mats just feel, yeah, maybe mats counts. I don't know. It confuses me. I'm not sure.
What about if you're having a fun comp, okay, off the front tees, and you got a hole in one?
Wouldn't count it. Here's one for you. This is a really bold shout that I think is going to get shot down and fair dues. I would rather have a hole in one and a par 3 than a par 4. Because I feel like if you have a hole in one and a par 4, it just sounds too elaborate. It sounds fishy. Whereas a hole in one and a par 3 is like, yes, clean. Like if I said to you I had a hole in one at the weekend and a par 4, you're thinking, were the tees pushed really forward? What was happening? Did it bounce off a sprinkler head? It just sounds a bit made up. Whereas a nice clean cut par 3 is just like, well done.
Oh, I think if you said I had a hole in one on the par, like a drivable par 4.
Yeah, it just seems too fluky. Anyway, are you still looking for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll
It's a daft one. Someone said, can I claim to have a hole in one if it was a double green, but I got it in the wrong hole?
Yes, you can. The other news from the weekend then was the Liv Team Championship. Ben, have you got a mic? It might be worth you coming in here for a sec because I didn't really watch a lot of Liv, Rick. Did you?
I watched bits on highlights like I did with most of my golf this weekend.
Well, Ben, who is one of our producers and he is our go-to Australian, he is a massive
residential
Ripper GC fan, and Ripper GC won. You said you watched it, Ben, so give us your Liv rundown.
It was great, I thought. So I had no idea about the format going into the weekend.
Ben down a tiny bit, Matt. He's coming in hot.
Am I a bit loud?
That's better.
That's it. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Excellent. Sorry. Didn't know much about the format coming into it. So the Thursday, Friday was match play against the teams that was sort of like knockout. And that was pretty good because the Ironheads beat the Crushers. Obviously, Bryson got beat by Kevin Na. So that was really good as well.
Just on that, you know what I really liked about it? How the top seeded teams pick who they're going to play.
Oh,
it was really cool in the press conference, like them
got
watching.
Heated in the press conference. Yeah, because imagine like you're the team that's doing, and you're going, all right, then we'll take on you.
I'm like, for you, then I'm going to beat you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what kind of happened.
Exactly what happened.
Oh, right, okay, I need to watch some of this.
That's like the Rippers were like, oh, we'll take on. I can't remember what Sergio Gassia's team.
Fireballs.
The Fireballs, and then they picked the pairings and stuff like that. So I really like that aspect. It was really good.
Yeah,
it made the conference, the press conference, seem so much more like
genuine as well.
You know what it seemed more like as well? Like when you watch an MMA press conference.
Yeah.
And you have all the players, all the fighters kind of
yeah.
lined up, and they're all there with a mic, and it was just one captain from each team, and it was like, yeah, I'm going to call out such a team, and the reaction was just like, all right, go on then, let's have it.
How much would a bit like when Grant Horvath said to you, I want to play you, and you can have the red teams.
Yeah.
That's the same
like
thing.
That. Exactly like that. You know what would be actually quite fun is almost them negotiating like shots or
yeah, that would be cool.
But so sorry, go on. So Crushers ended up beating Ironheads ended up beating Crushers, which was a big shock.
Yeah, that was a big upset.
Smash GC came last.
Yeah,
which was another big upset.
Brooks looked very unhappy with the rest of his team. I think the rest of his team let him down a little bit there. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, then the Sunday was all the top 4 teams that made it through. So Legion, Rippers, Ironheads, and 4 Aces. So 4 Aces obviously up there after a not very good season. And it was incredibly entertaining. Like I sort of tuned in at the start, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then I think, sort of 6 holes in, I found it quite hard to turn it off and look away, really. The scoreboard would just fluctuate so much. It would just change so quickly. Like, the Rippers were sort of like 4 shots behind, and then all of a sudden they were, right in it, and all the teams are tied. The Ironheads were leading by 2 or 3 at one point, and they were like, wow, they're going to do it. And it was just, and then the 4 aces were in the box seat by 2 shots as well, going in with 4 or 5 holes left. And then it was just like, it honestly felt carnage when it was just quickly changing to all these different, people on the on the green, missing putts. And then all of a sudden they dropped 2 shots. And then before you know it, the Rippers had made 2 birdies.
Just a quick one on it again, because I didn't watch loads and loads yesterday. Were the teams playing together?
Yeah, so all the captains were playing in one group. So,
yeah, it's all right. So all the 4 captains were playing together.
And then they were sort of, I think.
And then the other 3 Rippers players played together.
No,
so it was all mixed.
Yeah, they're all mixed. Yeah, that's right.
Because I'd quite like to have seen, like, in the last day, almost all the 4 balls.
Yeah.
Like, imagine them all high-fiving and almost reading each other's puts and being able to kind of, like, use that team advantage almost.
Yeah, definitely. But at the same time, it was also good, like, knowing that, the Rippers watching 4 aces being 2 shots ahead of them, watching Patrick Reed miss a shot, or Pat Perez, missing the green on the par 3, stuff like that. So that aspect, I bet, was also like, and then you could see the players also watching the big screen, watching how other players are doing and the score dropping. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. And then I think Vincent stuck it in the water on 18 as well, and that like dropped the ironheads right down. And then he recovered for bogey. And then, yeah, but I found it's probably the first, like, I liked JCB when we went, like, for the atmosphere to go as a live thing, but I would never really sit down and watch it on an evening. But I found this, like, really hard to. I was like, I just got back from golf as well, so I was like, I need to go have a shower and have dinner. But I found it really hard to sort of like step away because that probably helps because I'm Australian. I support the Rippers, But I don't know. As a neutral.
Question then, Ben. So there was I get the match play, then in the finals it was stroke play.
Mm-hmm.
What was the benefit of Ripper? They got through. So anyone just got through to the final. Right, I'm sorry, I'm looking at different things. There's like many different leagues, isn't there? So there's tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3.
Yeah. So the top 3 teams from the season automatically qualified all the way through, and then the rest of the teams. So the Ironheads had finished. There was a crazy stat. Is there 13 teams? I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. And the Ironheads had finished in like outside the top 10 for 75% of the season, and then all of a sudden they just like rocked up and beat everyone, and they went all the way through. So I kind of really like that aspect that even though you might be last in the standings or second last wherever they were, they could go out and beat the Crushers and do what they did and get all the way through. So yeah, it was kind of like knockout. And then, like I said, the press conference was there to call people out and etc. So
go Rippers GC.
Yeah, out the Rippers.
Yeah, fair dues.
And Smith, get him on.
That's what we've said, haven't we, for a long time, since the dawn of Liv, really. That if you can get people to get behind the teams more, then you're onto a winner. It's
just an easy choice for Australians. It's so easy for Australians and South Africans. It's the easiest choice in the world, and kind of Spanish Mexican as well. It's easy for them, but very, very good. And then again, I didn't watch loads of it, but I know Lydia Ko went on to win again. That's now like her 3rd or 4th big win this year, not only including the Olympics, the Ladies Open. It was just been accepted into the Hall of Fame, and just on an absolute tear. So that's also incredible to see.
You know what freaks me out about golf? I'm not good at golf anyway, so I don't know why this bothers me. But say Lydia Ko or Scotty Scheffler is unbelievable at golf right now. What would happen if one morning they woke up and they couldn't hit the ball the same? Because with other sports, like, I don't think of that as much. It just seems so much like instinct almost, potentially. But with golf, it's like you're swinging a little metal club above your head back down to a tiny golf ball at speed. What happens if Lydia Ko woke up tomorrow and that just isn't quite working? What happens?
Well, the difference is between not quite working and becoming disastrous.
Yeah, but still, it's like, I suppose that's why golf is like a man of say what does happen, I guess, isn't it? They are amazing. And then it just freaks me out, the fact that golf is so, it's millimeters between a great shot and a bad shot.
Like someone like Messi,
Yeah.
And when I watched him the other day, I was expecting him to be good, and he was good.
Yeah.
And he's not just going to lose his touch, is he?
Well, no, and even if he did a little bit, he's got a team around him, and he can kind of slowly.
The thing that they lose, a bit like watching Luis Suarez, was his like fitness maybe levels, or his determination, or whatever that may be. Where in golf, even if your fitness level drops a little bit, you still play great golf.
And that's it. But like say in the playoff hole at Wentworth this week on 18, Roy was hitting 3-wood because his drive would probably a bit too much, and he's still getting like 170 odd ball speed. If he hits that, like, say, even a quarter of an inch different, that shot will go offline massively at that speed. But yeah, they do it occasionally, but very infrequently. It just, I don't know, it's mad when you think about it, how, like, hard golf actually is and how it literally is millimetres. But yeah, that's my negative way of thinking. That's why if I was Rory McIlroy in that position, I'd be thinking, don't hit a bad shot, and then I'd shank it into the trees. Don't
miss the ball. You've been doing this for 30 years of your life. Right now, suddenly you're just going to miss the ball.
Yeah.
That is one mad thing. We never miss the ball.
Mm.
I never stand over a shot and think, I might miss this.
Do you not?
Is it mad?
No, I know. Yeah, I could happily, I say happily, I could hit a 30-foot putt in front of the crowd at Wentworth and think, I've got a chance of it going in. It might not do. Hitting a drive in that situation, I just could not do. The thoughts that be going through my mind would just be horrendous. I don't know how they do it. I suppose that's the point. There's so many guys growing up and girls who are so good at a sport but just don't have the mental capacity. Completely changed subject. Did you see Anthony Joshua got destroyed?
I didn't.
Yeah.
But I know he did.
Yeah, he got battered by Daniel Dubois.
Was that unexpected?
No, I thought that Joshua would beat him quite comfortably. I didn't even buy the fight. Normally, I get sucked into the fights like the week of the fight, watch all the press conferences and stuff. And this, I kind of half did. I was like, you know what? I'm not paying 20 quid to watch Joshua winning a few rounds or whatever. And he got destroyed.
Do you like Joshua?
Mixed.
Yeah, I used to really, 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 really love him. Like, he was like my favourite fighter ever. And I don't really follow fighting, but I really, really, really liked Anthony Joshua. I liked his persona. He seemed quite kind of humble. I just really liked him. I can't warm to him now.
I think I've gone on a bit of a journey with him. I think the public after the Olympics in 2012 bigged him up and he became the national hero. I think everyone got on that.
Maybe that's when I was.
Well, yeah, and I think everybody did. Everybody got on that kind of bus, if you like. And then it almost became cool from the real boxing fans to not really rate him and prefer Fury, I feel like. So it was a bit like, he's just a overrated bodybuilder kind of thing. And then obviously Fury dominated. Then Fury's kind of fell off a bit and been a bit Marmite in times. And I think then people kind of warmed back to Joshua. And I don't know, it's been a bit of up and down, but
I suppose that is like Tyson Fury. People have hated him and now they love him again. And
yeah, he kind of. But what was interesting again with that, though, I know it's a complete change of subject, but obviously this Daniel Dubois, he's actually had a couple of losses, but for different reasons. He's only 27, which in professional heavyweight boxing is still pretty young. And he's the next talent coming through. And in 5 years' time, it'll be the days of Joshua long behind us. Like golf, isn't it? Like, you do have a much longer career, admittedly, than getting punched in the face by a big heavyweight. But there's always the next lot who are waiting around the corner.
But this is going to massively jeopardise this kind of elusive Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury fight.
I don't
think ever going to happen, is it?
Well, the thing is, if Fury loses again to Usyk, I still think people would watch the fight of them two. They'll both have been beaten by Usyk twice. It's like, well, who's the best out of them two? If Fury beats Usyk, I can't see why people would want to watch him face Joshua then. But who knows?
Weird sport,
the end of the thing is, with boxing though, what's weird is, and again, I'm a very casual fan, and people listening to this who know much more than me might be cringing at what I say because I might be wrong. But you've almost got two angles. You've got the fact of who's going to win a certain belt, which is why you want to watch, who's going to be crowned the champion. But then you've also got the YouTuber fights, you just watch over personality.
That's what I mean.
So at the end of the day, I would probably reckon there would always be an interest between them two. If they actually had a proper press conference and Fury was calling him a big dosser and whatever, even if they both had 6 losses beforehand and then there's no belts on the line, you'd still want to see it.
Of course you would.
So probably it will happen at some point if the money's right, but it should have happened before.
Yeah. I don't love boxing.
It's like you versus Peter Finch. People want to see it.
Yeah.
People are going to see it soon.
Very soon.
On both channels.
We spoke about that actually, didn't we, last week?
Yeah, we'll speak about it again. We'll set the wet people's whistle.
Wet people's whistle. Well, it's time to stand up.
If you'd like to sign this podcast off in your best New York accent, then that would be...
Honestly, I can't. You know what? I actually found myself going more English.
Did you? Good day.
You know what's mad about Americans? And say it's in the nicest way, Americans listening. you're so bloody loud. I feel like my voice isn't loud enough in America. Like, I feel like I need to turn my volume up.
Yeah.
I can't talk loud enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, in America, everyone's talking voice in America is like so much louder than it is over here.
Did you eat big food?
Again, because I went on this wild adventure, I ate when I was hungry. Like, I didn't have regulation breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I just ate.
Just vibed it.
Yeah.
2 o'clock burger.
Yeah. What? I don't think I had anything crazy. I bought a Feastable bar.
Not very nice.
I brought it home. I've not tried it yet.
No, they're not. I'll be honest. Sorry, Mr. Beast.
And
You said you weren't using social media just on your laptop. Were you walking around New York with a laptop?
No.
All right. I can just imagine you sat in Central Park on Instagram on your laptop. When I'm not using it on my phone, but in the middle of Central Park.
No, I took pictures. I posted a few bits, but not loads.
Did you go to any golf shops?
Oh, I went to 5 Iron Golf.
Oh, did you?
I don't know how to tell you that. Weirdly, right? So where I stayed, right in Manhattan, I came out my hotel, had a bit of a wander, and I was like, I really wanted, it sounds sad this, because I had like shorts on, but like not tailored shorts, like almost jogging pants, right? Jogging shorts. And I kept going on these bikes, and I was really scared my phone and stuff would fall out.
I was going to say something else then.
Would fall out my pockets. So I wanted one of these like man bags.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I wanted like a bum bag, but I know in America they call it
Fanny pack.
fanny pack. So I went in a couple of shops.
You're walking around New York looking for fanny.
In packs. Packs of fanny packs. And I couldn't find one anywhere, right? Anyway, ended up stumbling across 5 Iron Golf. I was like, no way. It's like 5 Iron Golf. I really wanted to go there. So I went in, and what an unbelievable setup. Unbelievable.
Did you walk in? They go, oh my God, it's Rick Shiels.
The first guy did actually, Matt. He was really nice. Showed me around and everything. It's so busy.
Really?
It's ridiculous. Honestly, it's ridiculous.
With golfers as such, or just like
So you pay a monthly membership.
Right.
I don't even want to tell you how much it is monthly. Do you know how much it is monthly?
I'd like to.
This is just to hit balls on a simulator.
But before you give me that, then, if you can, give me the, like, can you use it all the time? Can you remember the...
I don't know the rules and regulations, but
okay.
I know you can leave your clubs there.
That's quite good.
You hire a bay. I think you get 90 minutes a day.
Right.
If you want it. TVs everywhere. Food everywhere. And I didn't realise 5 Iron Golf, there's about 6 or so in New York. I just thought there was one. I stumbled in the one that has the Breezy Bar, the Bob the Sports Bar,
that's cool.
with all the pictures of Bob, Fat Perez and Joe. It's like bloody shrine to him. It's a bit weird, really. And it's full. Like, and when I say full, guy, this was a Friday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right? Every single bay was full of golfers hitting balls. It's $350 a month.
Wow.
A month.
That's more than a lot. Well, every golf club pretty much, isn't it? Really.
So what's that per year?
3,600.
3,700 a year.
Flipping heck.
It's a lot, in it.
Yeah.
But you don't lose any golf balls.
Very true. Let's save money then.
They obviously store your clubs. Each Trackman bay has a camera at the front, camera from behind.
Oh, the Trackman
bays.
Controversial.
Food was really, really good. I had these little burger sliders.
So you must have been hungry when you walked in there, because you only eat when hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
But I wasn't going to eat there. But as I
smelt the burgers.
As I was there, I was like,
when hunger strikes,
let's go and eat something.
Yeah.
So I went there. No, didn't hit a single golf ball. Then I went to Chelsea Pier.
Yeah.
Later that day.
Is that still like the all run down, the pro shoppy bit and stuff, or not?
Annoyingly, the pro shop was shut.
Yeah.
But it looked nice.
Oh, okay.
Didn't look run down. Because they call it like Chelsea Golf Club.
Yeah.
And inside, it was packed.
Oh, really?
Again, packed. And I kind of snuck through. I didn't pay for any balls. I just kind of snuck in and had a quick look around. And it's mad. I've been there before, to be honest, but a number of years ago. It's just such a crazy place.
It's cool.
Yeah, really, really good.
Very good.
Really enjoyed it. I reckon I clocked up, and this is no exaggeration, I reckon I did close to 100 kilometres of bike riding.
Wow.
The full week on electric and non-electric. Like, I went from, again, middle of Manhattan. I rode all the way to Yankee Stadium, which was like an hour ride. Got lost about 5 times. Went through some interesting places where I pedalled a lot faster. and watched the game and pedal all the way and rode all the way back.
Did you chat to anyone in these dodgy areas?
No, I was.
What up, bro? Which way to the Bronx?
No, that's where I was. I was in the Bronx. I literally.
You could survive in the Bronx.
DL. I'm not sure.
You could.
I was literally. I don't think I've ever pedaled so fast in my life. It was so much fun.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you had a good time.
Thanks.
Well, I'll show you how we have putting comps with the kitchen roll. So every cloud.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Lots more to come. We'll see you next time. Bye.